Namaste, my witchlings. Give me just one quick second and we'll be right with you. Hello, hello, hello. Namaste, my witchlings. How is everybody doing today? I am sniffly. All right, don't mind me. Pardon my sniffles. When I adjusted the septum ring, I feel like my nose is dripping slightly because it's a heavier septum ring. So I keep sniffling when I don't need to. And it's kind of chilly. Oh, move that. Oh, there we go. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? I am here. I was fighting with the script for tonight's podcast until after 3 o'clock this morning. I am so frustrated with myself because, you know, reasonable time, I'm like, oh, I need to do that. 4 hours later, I'm like, oh, yeah. Oops. All right. Now, while we settle in and let everybody come in and get comfortable, we're going to please protect the energy you bring into my space, and you will be mindful of what you say in the chat. If you are not respectful, my mods and Arnold will be fighting you with the band hammer.
Hasta la vista, baby.
We abide by the tolerance paradox in this space. We will tolerate everything but intolerance. Thank you, Starscream. We appreciate you. You know what? More coffee. Coffee is always good. It's early. All right. Coffee is very good. Coffee is very good. I drink white coffee, so it has less acid, a smoother, lighter flavor, and nowhere near the acid, and more caffeine. Go me. Hey, Hazel, how are you doing today? Hey, That's an interesting name. Man, now I'm transported back to the mid-90s with Crash Test Dummies. It was a good song. Slightly annoying and repetitive, but I liked it. All right. I am fighting chaos here on my desk. Whoopsie. Well, that worked. All right. Today's goddess picture. Yay. All right. All right. That's good of you, Starscream. Coffee is just like, one of my favorite things. But I also started drinking coffee at about 2 or 3 years old. Okay, my darlings, my dears, my witchlings. All right, here we go. Today's reading reminds us that delays serve the higher good. The wrong time and place can still lead to the right lessons. Self-compassion asks us to consider why someone might treat us badly, while Namaste reminds us to take what we need and leave what we don't. And in our moment of Zen, a butterfly loves its dirt, and Busan's heron stands serene as the water laps against its legs. Hello. Namaste, Witchlings. Welcome, one and all to Di's Daily Divinations and Self-Care. This is where magic meets mindfulness, where we weave together the sacred spiral flow, honoring the day, listening to the cards, and caring for ourselves along the way. Welcome back, or if you are new here, hey, hi, hello, and welcome. Each day, we here flow with the sacred spiral. I am Di, your favorite yoga witch and guide through said spiral. So, let's go step into today's together, shall we? So, let's go grab our favorite crystal. I'm still playing with a chunk of quartz today. Light your favorite candle or some incense. Cozy up with your cup of coffee or tea, whatever brew fills your mug, and let's step into today's spiral of wisdom and self-care together. Don't forget to do the whole like, share, and subscribe thing. It helps our Witchling circle grow, and it keeps our daily spiral turning here. We do have a birthday today, so kind of a cool one too. One of my favorite people. Although, pretty much everybody whose birthday I honor is a favorite person. But today is a very kind, compassionate, and amazing guy's birthday. All right. We're going to start over here. Today, a very kind, compassionate, and amazing guy is celebrating his birthday. He's the former president of the Man Behind the Curtains and My Motorcycle Club, and someone who lives with chronic illness. Oh my gosh, he's a spoonie. I want to wish Mark an amazing birthday, and I hope you and Julie have a really wonderful day. Happy birthday, Mark. All right. We are also lighting our candle for our witchling John, who is battling a headache that could turn into a migraine at any moment. John, all of the healing juju to you. And as I light this flame, may our light be a beacon of hope in the darkness for those stumbling or lost along the way. I also hold this light for those victims and survivors of gun violence here in the United States. So, with the lighting of our candle, our sacred circle has closed, and we invite the ancestors to be with us here today. Get that candle seated so it doesn't attack me later. Oh, crap. It's the Leaning Tower of Pisa now. There we go. Yeah. Behave. There we go. Got it. All right. Thank you, Hazel. And thank you, Starscream. He is a really, really, really amazing guy. Yeah, as the man behind the curtain says, he is one of the most Christ-like Christians and one of the few truly Christ-like Christians that we have the pleasure of knowing. He actually is the one who took the man behind the curtain out to buy his first motorcycle. So, I'm kind of happy. Thank you, Mimi. Mark is good people. Okay, no hurry. We'll be here for a bit. All right, my witchlings. Now, before we dive into the cards, let's go see what holidays today brings us, shall we? Oh. I totally forgot to make the list again, didn't I? All right, so our holidays today, we have World Trauma Day. Today reminds us that healing is not linear. It spirals just like our sacred flow. As someone who carries CPTSD and DID, I know trauma reshapes us. It rewires our brains, but it does not define us. Healing is sacred work. Honor your scars. They are your stories of survival, resilience, and the magic of becoming whole. Next. Payback a Friend Day. Friendship is not just about favors, it's about energy exchange. Today, return kindness where it is due, whether it's a coffee, a message, or just heartfelt gratitude. Let generosity flow. Energy shared freely multiplies joy for everyone involved. And as a mom, Developmental Language Disorder Awareness Day kind of resonates. DLD affects how people understand and use language. It's invisible, but it is very real. Let's use our words with care and compassion today. Magic begins with communication, and understanding begins with listening. Honor those who speak differently, yet carry the same depth of meaning. Ah, ow. What doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Is What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger a Kelly Clarkson song? I think it is, but I cannot remember. I suck at remember who sings what, especially when it's a woman. Unless it's Dolly or Celine Dion. I'll take another sip. Damn it. And now I gotta look. So, let's take a sip of coffee while I hunt. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Oh, it is Kelly Clarkson. The name of the song is Stronger. How about them apples? You're absolutely accurate, Starscream. It's a quote that's been around for a while, and I truly love it to an extent, because what didn't kill me didn't necessarily make me stronger. It just gave me some fucked up attachment issues, trust issues, and a really, really, really warped sense of humor. All right. So we're doing stellar today. We got like 4 people here. Yay. Hey, it's better than nobody, though. I don't quite feel like I'm talking to myself today. Sometimes it's the only intelligent conversation I get during the day. On those days that I don't really talk to you much. He says... Oh God, he is going off and it's hilarious, and I know he's joking because he said he resembles that remark. Dude, we not only talk to ourselves, but we make up the furry children's side of the conversations, to the point at one time I seriously considered setting up Twitter accounts. This tells you how long ago it was, for all of the animals in the house so that they could converse back and forth via Twitter. The conversations we made up were great. It was hilarious. What the? That was a hair. Found it. I hate it when I have a hair tickling me because it feels like bugs. The furry children. The furry children would be Tooker, Sergeant, and Luna, and the furry overlord, currently our pets. I refer to them as my furry children because, well, they're furry toddlers. Except for the cat, he's a furry teenager. And an incredibly furry asshole. Love him. Don't get me wrong, but he is an asshole. He will watch. He will wait until I walk back into my office to steal my chair. He will sit here and watch and wait for me to step into the hallway or the doorway, and then he'll launch himself up into my chair. If he doesn't, steal it as soon as my ass leaves the chair. The number of times I have stood up to grab something off the shelf or turn my lights on or off, and he has gotten in the chair literally under my ass, I can't count. It's great. That poor cat has been sat on so many times. But see, we also We also have a black blanket over the chair I sit in the living room. And he is a black cat. And the man behind the curtain keeps the living room a cave. So it's kind of dark in there. So I walk out there to watch the late shows with him and go to sit down in my chair. And the chair meows at me and I get claws to the tushy. Oops. My chair fights back. It bites back. Love my cat. I am a horrible cat mother, though. Hey, Maria. I do not do free readings. But if you want to book a reading, you are more than welcome to book one with me. I will answer questions that do not require me pulling cards for it, though. All right. I feel like a freaking cobra going. Oh. Anyway, I'm weird. All right, my friends. Haha. Shall we see what the cards have to share with us today? Yeah. Maria, you never know. You popped in here. You never know whether the cards might actually be talking to you today. Because they tend to do that shit. Trust me. That face was at him, by the way, y'all. All right. Let's go to the cards. There they are. What do the oracles have to share with us today? Well, first of all, there we go. It is for the higher good. Boom, 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 boom. There it is. Next. Wrong time and place. And finally, we have influence and distractions. The cards are pretty clear today. The cards are clear today, my witchlings. It is for the higher good, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. We are in the wrong time and place, surrounded by influence and distractions that are making everything feel heavier than it should. Trust that this pause, this chaos, is part of the greater weaving. The universe is clearing the path before we take our next sacred step. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments in the chat, please. Oh. And now, let's see what the tarot has to share. Our first tarot card today is the Hierophant. The Hierophant says to widen your breadth of vision and make up your own mind about which path you should take. It does, however, sometimes help to see others' point of views and learn from their mistakes. Next, we have the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles says, perseverance in the face of adversity and overcoming frustration related to work. And then finally, we have strength. All right. Strength says we have strength and the spiritual protection of the unicorn. We are using the unicorn deck after all. And some personal magnetism. Forge ahead to achieve victory, energy, and good health. There is a strong, silent type of person in your orbit who is steadfast and loyal. All right, so let's put all three of those together, shall we? Honey? Can we do the 3 tarot cards before we move on to the combined 6 cards?
Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
You said putting them all together, and I was already confused because you wanted to start over and you didn't.
All right.
Start this over.
The Hierophant reminds you to trust your own wisdom while staying open to the lessons from others. The Seven of Pentacles urges patience. Your hard work will soon bloom into success. With strength, the Unicorn's quiet power surrounds you, blessing you with courage, vitality, and protection. Forge ahead, Witchling. Your spirit is fierce, your energy magnetic, and loyal hearts walk beside you. All right. And now, let's braid the Oracle and Tarot all together, bringing their voices into one sacred spiral message. The Hierophant asks you to open your mind and trust your own wisdom, even as you learn from others' mistakes. Right now, it is for the higher good, even if things feel off, because we're in the wrong time and place, surrounded by influence and distractions that blur our clarity. The Seven of Pentacles reminds you that perseverance through these challenges will bring growth and reward, especially in your work and creative flow. Strength shines through the Unicorn's gentle power, wrapping you in courage, healing, and quiet confidence. There is a loyal presence nearby, a strong, silent soul offering steady support as you find your footing again. Trust the timing, my Witchling. What feels delayed is only being divinely aligned. And the affirmation for today's reading. I trust in divine timing. I move with patience, courage, and grace, knowing every pause is a sacred part of my path. All right. Aren't unicorns great? Okay, so Starscream is asking, how do the cards work? Basically, you get a deck of tarot cards and you focus on, typically, this is not what I do for a daily draw, but you focus on a question as you shuffle them so that they can pick up the energy. You can ask it out loud or just focus on the cards and the question, and you shuffle, you cut, and you pull the cards. And then there is, I've put the book away, there's usually a booklet with the cards if you're not familiar with them and have them memorized. Hi, 30 years and I still don't. So you look at what the cards mean. And oftentimes you can look at the picture that's on the card and it will, there is some intuitive reading going on here, such as usually with the Pentacles suit, you know, it's financial related. So you've got that, and then you just kind of take the overarching message that the cards are giving you and figure out what it's saying from there. Like I said, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I'm usually pretty accurate. Usually. Not always. And then oracles, this particular deck does well with being drawn in multiples. There are some decks, such as my holiday decks, that really work best pulling one card at a time. But, oh, excuse me, it's all in how you interpret them. And apparently my coffee is talking back today. So let's drink more. Hey, Steve, I see you there. Oh, we kind of see you there. Hope you're still there. Dr. Pepper coffee. That could be interesting. I don't remember opening this can last night. There's like a drink of it. Okay. So, do we want to do the self-care cards now? Oh man, I wish I could quit yawning. What does Namaste have to share with us today? Namaste says, take what you need, leave what you don't. Pretend you are going on an adventure. What do you need? What things what will make things easier for you? What will keep you comfortable and safe? Collect all the things you need to have a wonderful adventure. Now, breathe 8 times intentionally while you think about setting off on your journey. Gather your belongings and set out the door. As you close the door, know that you have everything you need and all the unnecessary things are left behind. Now, do this with your thoughts as well. Imagine what you need to feel healthy, strong, and confident. What do you need to lead a happy life today? Gather them all and breathe 8 times intentionally. When you are done, collect all your positive thoughts and shut the door behind you. All the unnecessary thoughts that would weigh you down today are left behind. All you have with you are the thoughts that will promote peace, prosperity, and happiness. Go forth on your journey and rejoice. By detaching from unnecessary thoughts, we liberate ourselves from stress. Self-compassion. All right. Self-compassion says, why else? Consider a way in which someone treated you in a way that was disappointing. What emotions, past hurts, or misguided beliefs might be behind that behavior? I'm going to reword this because the first sentence is very confusing. Consider a way in which someone treated you in a way that was disappointing. It is saying, consider a time and the behavior when someone treated you poorly. And then stop and think about what emotions, past hurts, or misguided beliefs might be behind that behavior. Such as someone treated me like dirt because I'm a Democrat because they honestly thought I ate babies. I don't, but realizing that that was what triggered that thought kind of made it easier to deal with them. All right. And that, my darlings, is our self-care for the day. Mimi's almost out of pop. Uh-oh. Well, that's a crime against nature. Chocolate orange coffee. Chocolate oranges are okay, but I wouldn't want to add it to coffee. I saw the Dr. Pepper coffee. I kind of want to try using one of my cream sodas as creamer, but carbonated coffee. Carbonated coffee is not good. Pop, soda. It's different colloquialisms depending on where in the United States you live. Hey, Aspen. Well, I'm just be grateful your family lets you have caffeine, considering. For those who don't know, Aspen lives with a bunch of Mormons. I know. Let's see. I was just going to... Nope. Lost it. Carbonated coffee, though, just does not sound good. Very much does not sound... Oh my gosh. Blasphemy. No chocolate and no bacon. Wow. As much as I like bacon, though, I am rather disappointed in myself. I was at Costco the other day and bought some breakfast sandwiches because they're so easy to just toss one on the microwave and I got a quick breakfast. But I did not look closely enough to realize that they had bacon and not sausage. And when it comes to my breakfast sandwiches, I prefer sausage. But hey, we're good. So, life goes on. But let me tell you, other than that, and it's really good bacon on them. I had one yesterday. I went back to my oatmeal today. And then I am so... Yes, toss it in the microwave. Toss it in the nukem. And then today I had my oatmeal and I remembered too late that the yogurt I grabbed yesterday was already open in the fridge. It's a little single serving. And I'm like, that is the 5th one of those that I have gotten that's been slightly open. So I was miffed. Meant to order some last night and then wanted one this morning. Went, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. So before I went live, I managed to order my oatmeal because I'm almost out and more yogurt. So I have breakfast. I am a very, very, very lazy witch when it comes to my foods until like dinner time. And if I can just pop something in the nukem for, a minute or two, I am good. So the irony of Starscream saying he wants strawberries. They have discontinued my favorite flavor of oatmeal. It used to be strawberry and peach. And they have discontinued it, so now I'm stuck eating just peach or just strawberry. Because despite the fact I am a bigger girl, I have finally gotten to the point I do not eat enough to eat 2 packets at once. I used to, and then I promised the man behind the curtain that I would eat at least 2 meals a day, so I have to have breakfast and I have to have dinner. Lunch, if it happens. And then today... my meds are not agreeing with an empty stomach. So I take my meds, get the dogs out, and then I'm dragging the dog back in going, I gotta go eat something or my meds are going to make a second appearance. So yeah, it's fun. It's a bad habit. Eating more than once a day will actually help you lose some of the weight because you keep your blood sugar up, you keep your energy up with enough protein in that, and by the time dinner rolls around, you're not absolutely ravenous and binge and eat far more than you should. It has been a very steep learning curve. Yep. Which is part of why I had to promise the man behind the curtain that I would eat more than 1 meal a day. And feed my kids a little more often. But see, my family growing up, lunch wasn't a thing. We didn't eat lunch on the weekends. You ate breakfast, and then you didn't eat again until dinner time. And if you tried to eat between breakfast and dinner, you got yelled at. That's one of my issues, Mimi. I am fighting an eating my eating is very disordered. I am a combination of anorexic and a binge eater. So I am working on eating more so that my body comes out of starvation mode. We'll figure it out. All right. Yeah. He would, when he wanted to try to lose weight as a teenager, he would eat nothing but a single bologna sandwich all day, which honestly, I can't do bologna anymore. Can't do bologna, can't really do hot dogs. Yeah, what? Mayo? Yeah. I can't. Yeah, bologna and cheese with mayo on white bread. I stopped eating white bread about 18 years ago. We were like, I'll occasionally buy the gluten-free white bread because it's not really white bread, but yeah. All right. Now let's go see who today's goddess is, because next we honor the goddess of the day, a divine presence to inspire, guide, and walk with us on today's spiral. Today's goddess, Annapurna. Annapurna, the Indian goddess of grain and nourishment, embodies kindness, generosity, and the sacred act of giving. She tends both the physical storehouses of the world and the spiritual storehouses within our souls, ensuring that no one in body or spirit ever goes hungry. Her gifts remind us that true abundance is not measured by what we keep, but by what we share. In honor of Annapurna and World Food Day today, give from your heart. Donate canned goods or grain-based foods to a local shelter or pantry, whispering a blessing for those to receive them over them before you donate. To welcome her providence into your home, scatter a little grain around your doorway or sweep it clockwise into a jar, storing her energy of prosperity. When the need arises, release a pinch into the north wind and let the goddess answer with generosity. Itch the nose, itch the nose, itch the nose, itch the nose. Sorry. My ADD is horrible today. You know what? I need to turn the volume on him up because I am having trouble hearing the man behind the curtain today. So let's see. Finally, my darling witchlings, we close our divination with our moment of Zen, a teaching from the Little Book of Zen to carry with you into your day. We have poems from Joseph Conrad and Busan today. This magnificent butterfly finds a little heap of dirt and sits still on it, but man will never, on his heap of mud, keep still. And Busan says, with the evening breeze, the water laps against the heron's legs. That's kind of deep. And that, my darlings, is our moment of Zen. All right. $10 p.m. for Starscream. Yep. All right, my loves, my witchlings. It's time to wrap up for today. So, let me grab my snuffer and the candle. That's fine. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Hazel. All right, here we go. We are going to open our circle. With the extinguishing of our candle, we open our circle and extend our gratitude to the ancestors who chose to join us here today. All right. All right, my loves. Let us go out and spread love, spread joy, and spread kindness because there's already enough darkness and hate. Let's please try to be beacons of hope and light for those lost in the dark. And tell your loved ones, whether they walk on two legs, fly with wings, curl up with fur, glide on scales, or tiptoe on paws and claws, that they are absolutely precious. Moments slip away far faster than we expect, and those last goodbyes come way too soon. And then, my witchlings, please always remember, you are loved, you are wanted, you are needed, and you do have a purpose here, even if you haven't discovered it yet. I love you all to bits. Namaste, my witchlings. Arr. Now, join the coven on Patreon for exclusive rituals, behind-the-scenes content, bonus blogs, early access to classes, and our private Discord server. Tiers start at just $1 a month at patreon.com/DieTheYogaWitch. You want to buy your favorite Gen X witch a cup of coffee? You can fuel my caffeine habit at buymeacoffee.com/die.theyogawitch, as well as exclusive content. Ooh. All of these links are available in the description and on my link tree, which is linktree/DieTheYogaWitch. Okay, we're going to try that one again. All of my links are in the description and on my link tree, linktree/DieTheYogaWitch.
Damn it. Fuck. That was mine.
Maybe you need some personalized guidance. Book a one-on-one coaching session, join a workshop, or explore rituals and services at yogawithdylin.com. As an ordained minister, I also offer blessings, ceremonies, and custom rituals for all life milestones. You can find out all about that at dietheyogawitch.com. Okay. Don't forget to join us here and at these times. Brain. Let's try that again. All right, y'all. Don't forget to join us Monday through Friday, 1:30 p.m. Pacific Time, Daily Divination and Self-Care. Sundays, Coffee and Cues at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Tuesdays at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time, we have the Bitch and Witch podcast. Thursdays, we have Yoga Witch's Cauldron, the Yoga Witch podcast at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time. And then Friday night is Friday Night Guided Meditation and Yoga Nidra Asana at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Time. After these messages, my witchlings, we will be right back. Hello, hello, hellos! How is everybody doing? Yay! We're surviving here. Oh God! All right, I am just kind of wee right now, so don't mind me. I'm gonna drink coffee though. Ooh. All right. Oh yeah. Yep, we've had quite a few Therians around. Actually, we have one as one of our mods. Munchkin doesn't pop in very often as much, but it's the school year. So yes, we are fine with Therians. Trans is, well, if you do not like trans people, please remove yourself from my stream. I have far too many loved ones who fall under the rainbow umbrella, myself included. I refer to us as the, I refer to us as the Rainbow Mafia. It's great. So, just a... Oh, no, I am not trans. Sorry about that. I'm a dorkfish. I have quite a few loved ones, though. Let's see what else. Okay, he's gonna go make coffee. You're okay, Mimi. Yeah, pretty much, Astrid. But let's see. Just a quick rundown for anybody who is not familiar. We are queer friendly here. We are definitely not Christian in this space. We do accept Christians as long as you don't try to preach at us and tell us that we need to find God. Yeah, tell us we need to find God and we're going to threaten to take custody away because you Christians can't seem to, keep track of Jesus or God. But, that's neither here nor there. Let's see, what else are we? We are just... as I said at the beginning of this, we abide by the tolerance paradox. We tolerate everything but intolerance. So, if you come into my space telling me that I need to change something about myself to make you happy, I am going to tell you to fuck right off. Just saying. And hello, Barat. I did see you come in. See, Astrid is saying, as long as they don't try to force it on me, I'm thinking that's in reply to the Therians thing. That's kind of my feelings about any religion. Not gonna say that one. We're gonna be minding our manners here. But yeah, let's see what else. In about 2 hours, we're going to be doing our podcast. My God, did I work hard on that last night. I prep my scripts like 2-3 weeks in advance. We'll talk about it. The only problem that we had, Mimi, was the fact that that particular website is known for stealing information and helping with identity theft. Otherwise, you're good. We know that not everybody is as web savvy as the rest of us are, as others of us. Sorry, that sounded wrong. Yeah, that URL had Chinese into it, or had Chinese in it. That's good, Starscream. So let's see. Podcast. I prep my podcast scripts pretty much at the beginning of the month. Once I know I have my monthly theme and then I have my weekly themes, and I will prep my scripts pretty much around that time. And then I won't necessarily look at them until like the night before and realize that I need a 45-minute script. And what I currently have written is 10. So then it takes me 4 or 5 hours to rewrite it and get it long enough that, I'm not done with it faster than I can sneeze. So that was my night last night. Tons of fun. Well, I did add topics. That's the thing. We're talking cord cutting this week. And the fact a lot of people, when they think cord cutting, they think cutting the cord of a relationship, a romantic relationship. And there are so many other kinds of cords. Such as the first one I had to cut for myself was identifying myself as a sailor after I came home from the Navy. Because that was an identity that I had wanted for so long. I wanted to make a career of that. I made it less than a year. So you can imagine the devastation. Not to mention the fact that my grandfather was the one who swore me into the Navy. And by coming home well before my contract was up, I genuinely felt as though I had let him down. My grandfather was a master at pep talks, loved the man, still loved the man. And he reassured me that I had not let him down. He was not upset with me. So have a good one, Astrid. My next one was realizing that even now I need to do another one on this. I still carry a lot of cords from previous romantic relationships. I did see that, babe. I responded. Oh, I do see. I misread what Astrid said originally, that we take their day from a 10 to an 11. Thank you. That makes me feel really good. Spinal Tap, yes. But I had to do multiple cord cuttings because my partner picker was severely malfunctioning for most of my life. And I kept getting myself into abusive relationships. So I cut the cords with most of them. I had to keep a couple of them because I have children with them. But the one that hurt the most, though, was realizing that I had to cut the cord with my incubator, because that relationship and that particular cord was bleeding me dry. She hated me, resented me, but she wanted to use me. That's cool. And I just, once I realized just how horribly toxic she was, I realized that I not only had to protect myself from that, but I was a mother and I needed to protect my children from what she had done to me. And as soon as that realization hit, that made it so easy to just say, okay, fine, and walk away. The next hardest was probably almost neck and neck with cutting the tie to my mother. And that was my best friend of almost 30 years. She was my roommate while I was in the Navy. I introduced her to both of her husbands. And we had been through marriages, divorces, childbirth, and losing our parents together. Not to mention, I don't know how many midnight calls, commiserating over God knows what. The infamous, I just finished off a bottle of pink champagne, so I'm going to call my best friend and talk to her for 2 hours. And the number of Dutch Bros coffees that we have consumed together is uncountable. So she was my very first soul sister. And realizing that our relationship had become incredibly one-sided and so incredibly toxic was an epiphany. And then I did something that I am not proud of. I ghosted her. I just blocked her on everything I could think of and just walked away. And because I knew, as much as I wanted to have that final conversation with her and give her a chance to improve, I knew she wouldn't. And I knew that if I talked to her, she was going to do one of two things. She was either going to manipulate me into not walking away, or she was going to play the victim. Because my timing was horrible. I will admit that. She had just a couple of years before lost her husband, my little brother, who I also introduced her to. But I don't even remember what exactly it was that was the final straw. I just know it was a final straw. And that something is bad when someone close to that person, when someone close to that person goes, "Oh, thank God, I've been waiting for you to walk away so I can tell you everything." And the floodgates open and you realize that this woman you have been calling your best friend for 30 years is just your mother done over. And yeah, that was kind of traumatic. But that was really a difficult tie to break. And trust me, after I do tonight's podcast, I'm going to do some more cord cutting on myself because it's time. I've got some attachments that are ready to fall away, and maybe they need a little bit of, assistance, encouragement. So yeah, that's tonight's podcast. Please tune in if you are dealing with, toxic anything. It is. I keep scooting and twisting. So that's tonight's podcast. And, not only and not only, was it late at night that I'm trying to rewrite these scripts, but it's also trauma that I'm writing about. Oh, yes, Hazel. Hazel, yes, that's my incubator. She did not die alone, only because she rescued my son from being on the streets, and he stuck around in the house because, well, it was a roof over his head. And he unfortunately was the one who found her. And when I remember listening to the voicemail he left when he found her, and he didn't sound scared. He didn't sound upset. He just sounded, "Mom, what do I do now?" And I feel bad about that. But yeah, she essentially died alone, and I don't regret it. My youngest brother and I cleaned out the house, or, well, my family in this house, with the assistance of my brother, cleaned out the house. And, I was talking with my brother on our way somewhere, discussing whether or not we were going to do a memorial for her. And he pointed out that neither of our parents wanted one. And he said I could go ahead and throw one for her, but he would not be there, and neither would either of the other two boys. And I'm like, she didn't want one, so I don't know. And I ended up not doing it. And now I kind of regret that. But the biggest reason I regret that is the fact that her brothers wanted to come out and visit for that, and that would have made it worth it. Hello, Safari. We are doing fine. Please do not spam my chat. But that was an interesting cord to cut. She was I refer to her as my incubator because she was never a mother to me. She did not want a daughter. And the fact that I came out a girl, nope. That was, that was a sin against nature. Exactly, Starscream. When there is dark, there is light. The dark will be bad, but the light will shine through always for you. I like that. And calling me honey is fine. I do the same thing. I have cut off enough toxic people in my life at this point. I'm finally learning the benefit to it. And honestly, my mother was the first one. And And I am working so very hard to not allow other toxic people into my life. We have one really toxic person left in our lives, and we haven't cut them out, but we have gone extremely low contact. These people, because the fact I'm not shy about the fact that I cut my mother off. These people who come back at you with, but you only get one mother. Why would you do that? She only had one daughter. Why would she do that? I needed to do that for my own mental health and safety. As soon as I cut that bitch off, my ideation went from being a constant thing to a maybe once a day thing. And then once the next most toxic person was out of my life, I haven't thought about it. I have not had that thought cross my mind literally in years. At least not with any seriousness. And that realization, when it hit, was just shocking. Exactly, Hazel. Okay. When I hung up the phone from that voicemail from my son saying my mother had died, I had been telling the man behind the curtain what I was going to say when it happened for years, and he did not believe me. And when I actually did say, ding dong, the fucking bitch is dead, he looked at me like I had sprouted 3 more heads. And I'm like, what? She went back to the deepest depths of hell where she belongs. And he's just like, I can't believe you said that. And I'm like, dude, you have met my mother. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, your mom is an angel on earth compared to my mother. His mom is not perfect, but she's an angel on earth. I love my mother-in-law. And those people like my husband. And people like my husband, hey, Kat, who have really good moms or have really good relationships with their moms, they don't understand what it's like to live with that toxic relationship. And they don't understand. Oh, yeah, until you get the just no mother-in-law who does that shit. And even then, you kind of understand your spouse, but you still can't quite put yourself into their shoes. And those are the types of people who go, well, why would you cut your mom off? That's your mother. She birthed you. You owe her gratitude for that. I'm like, I didn't ask to be born. Sure as shit didn't ask to be treated the way she treated me as a kid. No. So yeah. We don't owe them anything for doing the bare minimum of feeding us, clothing us, and keeping a roof over our heads. Now, if you had one of those parents that went above and beyond to make sure that you could excel in life, yes, you owe them some gratitude. But parents like mine, hell no. Cord cutting, though, is a hugely, hugely useful thing because it does help you cut those toxic ties that are binding you. And it's one of the easiest spells to do. Most people in the witchy community, when they think of a cord cutting, they think of the 2 candles with the cord between them and that, and you know, it's usually a romantic relationship. I know I've said that 3 times, but there's a reason I keep repeating it because it is an inaccurate assumption. For me, cutting the tie to my former self, was not a candle ritual. It was a meditation and a visualization where I simply visualize 18-year-old die and say thank you. Thank you for what you have taught me. Thank you for teaching, for being there. Thank you for surviving. However, that uniform is not me anymore, and I need to release you so that I can grow into who I'm supposed to be now. And then visualizing either a pair of scissors coming in and cutting that, or just simply watching that cord dissolve into nothingness as she walks away. So that's really easy way to do it if you're good at visualizing. Some of my other cord cuttings, yes, I've had to actually physically represent it. And that is partly because while you can do the cord cutting by visualization with any of them, I tend to suck at visualization. When I put the effort into it, I can visualize the whole apple. I'll explain this in a minute, but not always. By the whole apple, there are different stages of visualization. And this realization was huge for me. There are some people who think in nothing but words. They do not see pictures in their heads at all. I have a child like this, and what is shocking is that child is an amazing artist. But I digress. No pictures at all. And then there are people who you tell them to visualize an apple, and they will visualize the outline of an apple drawn on a piece of paper. The next step is it's a colored apple on the paper, so it's got all the colors. Next, you see the 3D image on the paper, like a photorealistic. And then there are people, and this is where I come to, and when I finally actually get around to focusing and visualizing, you can see the entire apple, and it's almost real in your mind's eye. And it's difficult for me to visualize, but when I do, it's the full thing. And then I have a former friend who, when she reads a book, for her, she has the stereo, the surround sound stereo, Dolby Digital video and sound movie playing in her head as she's reading. And I'm like, I wish I could do that. Full, yeah, as the man behind the curtain says, full on IMAX, because that's what it's like for him. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that. I can understand what Hazel's saying visual image flickers, whatever that means. Mine will glitch occasionally. I'll be visualizing, we're going to go with the apple example. I'll be visualizing the apple and I'll have the whole fruit. And occasionally my brain will just kind of power down a little bit and I'll get the 3D image on paper. So for me, it's either absolutely nothing, the 3D image on paper, or the full, and I'm feeling the weight and heft of an apple. Just visualize harder. Yep, Kat knows exactly how to do this. How did I not just pour coffee down my front? So, I forgot to craft the blog entry, but I will be crafting a couple of blog entries tonight about how to do the cord cuttings. Both visualization and an actual cord cutting spell. And I'm really looking forward to it, because for me, as a trauma survivor who has healed some, I have finally learned the benefit of doing those cord cuttings. The frustration for me is when I see those people in my life that I love who are survivors like I am, who actively choose to not heal. for whatever reason. There's at least two of them that the biggest reason they have not chosen to heal is they get more attention and more sympathy for being victims than they would for being survivors. It's just easier for them, and they can mooch it and you know, play the poor pitiful me card rather than being you know, being strong and doing the healing work and putting the effort in to be better so that they break those generational curses as well. Because hurt people, right? And I just, seeing people like that after I have done the hard work, just, it doesn't necessarily make me mad, but it frustrates me. Excuse me, because I look at them and see who I used to be. And look and see who I am now. And I'm like, you see me. You see this other person that you care about greatly who has put that work in. And you praise that person for being so strong and being so, you know, resilient and so good and so successful. Why won't you do it? Why are you so attached to being the victim? What does it give? What does it pay you? What's the payout here? Because looking back at when I was the victim and in that mindset, I didn't get a whole lot of positive out of it. So, yeah, I pretty much got written off as, oh, she's playing the victim again. When I'm like, I'm not a victim. I'm trying to process this. I'm trying to get through it so that once I'm on the other side, I can move on. I am not looking at the past constantly because I fucking enjoy it. I'm looking at the shit that happened to me because I need to understand what happened, why it happened, and how to prevent it from not only happening to me, but other people. Because having lived through this shit, I don't want anybody else to have to live through that pain. Why would you? Which leads to the two types of people that I went through this shit, so you have to go through this shit too, so that, you know, you can grow up and be like me. Or you get the people like me who are like, I went through that shit, and why the hell would I want anybody else to? Why would I want someone else to suffer just because I did? That particular, yeah. Sorry, smacked my hand on the desk and rattled the cameras a bit. Those two philosophies pop up a lot in parenting discussions, because it's the same with the, well, my parents spanked me when I was a kid and I turned out just fine. No, you didn't. You have a might makes right mentality. Because that's the, well, I'm the adult, you're going to obey me, and if you don't, I'm going to beat you. You have the anger becomes violence key there, and you think that's the way of doing things, which, by the way, it's not. And all of this, and we are now learning that does not actually work. There are better methods that do much less damage. Yeah, and that don't do that damage and actually teach kids how to manage their emotions and their impulses and that, as opposed to teaching them just how to not get caught doing shit. Because show me one kid of hyper-authoritarian parents who used physical punishment for everything, who isn't a master at sneaking around. Exactly, Mimi. I love the way you say that. I'd rather be a better person and a better friend and family member and significant other. Being a victim makes me feel like a failure and useless. I hurt from the situation. Hazel says she's quite sneaky. Exactly. So's my husband. Because he, like me, grew up in a hyper-authoritarian family where dad ruled the roost with an iron fist. And I just... Yeah, ninja level sneaky. Yes. And so, yeah. By the time I became a teenager, I wasn't sneaky anymore. I gave up. I just gave up and stopped doing anything. I didn't do my homework. I didn't do my schoolwork. I graduated high school by the skin of my fucking teeth. I had no passions. I had very few friends. And I just existed. And that was me pretty much up until 14 years ago. Little over 14 years ago. I see something that is bugging me. Come here, Buddha. Little over 14 years ago, when my ex-husband and I finally managed to move out from under the same roof as my parents. And once it was just me and him, I started redeveloping my own passions, my own interests, my own hobbies. And being able to actually live my life the way I wanted to, because I didn't have her breathing down my neck constantly, telling me that if I sneezed wrong, she was going to call CPS. And oh, yes, rock the boat. So, I, about 2 years ago, got severely addicted to Reddit. Particularly Just No Mother-in-Law, and Am I the Asshole, but mostly Just No Mother-in-Law. Because it was so nice for me to read through this and see other people whose mothers were like mine. Ow. Well, sit and listen. Go give Wavy hugs, if Wavy will tolerate them. Or Joopy. Joopy always loves attention. Awesome. So, one of the things in the Just No Mother-in-Law subreddit, that, resonated with the man behind the curtain and I was the rock the boat story. And he is going to, make it so that I can read it to you guys, because it is life-changing if you have lived in a family like this. All right. Yeah, this was shared to Just No Mother-in-Law 8 years ago, and it is still in their FAQs. Don't rock the boat. I've been thinking about this phrase a lot lately, about how unfair it is. Because we aren't the ones rocking the boat. It's the crazy lady jumping up and down and running side to side, not the one sitting in the corner quietly not giving a flying fuck. At some point in her youth, Mom or mother-in-law gave the boat a little nudge, and look how everybody jumped to steady the boat. So she does it again and again. And soon her family is in the habit of swaying to counteract the crazy. She moves left, they move right. Balance is restored temporarily. Life goes on and people move on to boats of their own. The boat rocker cannot survive in a boat by herself. She's never had to face the consequences of her rocking. She'll tip over. So she finds an enabler. Someone so proud of his boat steadying skills that he secretly, or not so secretly, lives for the rocking. The boat rocker escalates. The boat steadier can't manage alone, but can't let the boat tip. After all, he's the best boat steadier ever, and that can't be true if his boat capsizes, so therefore, his boat can't capsize. How do they fix this situation? Ballast. The next generation of boat steadiers is born. A born boat steadier doesn't know what it feels like on solid ground. They are so used to the constant swaying that anything and everything else feels wrong, and they'll fall over. There is a good chance the boat rocker never taught him to swim either, taught them to swim. They will jump at the slightest twitch like their life depends on it because it did. When you're in their boat, you're expected to help steady it. When you decline, the other boat steadiers get pissy and resentful. Look at you, just sitting there while they do all the work. They don't see that you aren't the one making the boat rock. They might not even just be able to see the life rafts available for them to get out. All they know is that the boat cannot be allowed to tip and you're not helping. Now, you and your spouse go get a boat of your own. With the boat steady, with your spouse not there, the balance of the boat changes. The remaining boat steadiers now have to work even harder. While a rocking boat is most concerning to those inside, it does, however, cause ripples. The nearby boats start to worry. They're getting splashed. Somebody do something! So the flying monkeys are dispatched. Can't you and your spouse see how much better it is for everyone else? If you just get back on the boat to help keep it steady, it would make their life so much easier. And you know what would be easier? If they just chucked the motherfucker overboard, the one who's doing the rocking. And this is the boat steadier comment story from Just No Mother-in-Law. I've been the boat steadier. I was the boat steadier for years until I realized just who was causing the issues. At which point I started begging my ex-husband, can we just pack the kids up in the middle of the night and move down with your family? Because at least then we'll have support. You'll have your family around to help you out and help us out with the kids and all of that. And he kept going, nope, nope, nope. Can't do that. Can't do that. He was the champion boat steadier. So yeah. Yeah. My darling husband is a born boat steadier. And I don't know if y'all saw my facial expressions as I was reading that, but I haven't read it in a while again. And I'm reading and I'm like, oh my God, I have heard those words out of certain family members' mouths. And I'm like, whoa. Yes, I wasn't saying that deliberately. I absolutely love these family members. But until we hear back, or until we hear from them that, you know, some of the trauma is done and over with, or that they have opened their eyes and realized what's actually happening, we have to, for our own sake. That means he called them in. But until we hear that, you know, shit has calmed down, we have to keep them very much at, you know, arm's length. I love you, but I can't. So, yeah. Whew. Oh, that we have, until we hear from certain family members that life is calmer, we absolutely must keep them at arm's length. Oh, Hazel, yes. Oh my God, yes. When things are calm, I feel like something is wrong. Oh my God, do I know that feeling. How do you, once you've freed yourself, how did you heal? Therapy. Find a good therapist, especially one who is experienced with trauma survivors. Do the work. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, is awesome if it works for you. I have gone through DBT like 4 times now. It was great. It was very helpful. But a lot of therapy, make sure that you have a support network, even if that means going to a support group. Make sure that you have people around you, because trust me, when you first step out and you're getting that, oh my God, it's wrong because things are calm and I don't have to walk on eggshells all the time, and you end up, I discovered I would sabotage myself horribly at that point. So you need the support network and the therapy to be able to help you process how you're feeling, and the fact that you don't have to walk on eggshells, and that just because things are going well doesn't mean that you have to, blow everything up. And also I discovered part of my self-sabotage was her. Yep. A lot of my supposed self-sabotage was her. It was her whispering in my ear constantly, "Oh, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fuck up. You always sabotage yourself. You get almost to the end of things and then you fuck up and you self-sabotage." I spent $3,500 on my yoga teacher training, and I did great. So we started in October. We graduated Father's Day. I did great up until the day after our final May session, because it was one weekend. And I get done with the May session and I'm like, we're going to graduate next month. How the fuck am I going to fuck this up now? What am I going to do to blow this all up in my face and end up making it a waste of $3,500? I'm going to waste this money and he's going to be pissed off at me. And all of this thought kept running through my head. And I'm just like, nope, we're just going to power through. We're going to do the best we can because we've got the knowledge. We've got people around us who want to see us succeed and all of that. And I kept waiting for the shoe to drop. And then I sent in my final test, so that the only thing I had left was my practical. Sent in my final test, and with it I included a note, "Hey, I know I flubbed up at least one question, possibly two, but otherwise I'm pretty confident." 5 minutes later, my instructor emails me back going, "I don't know what you are talking about. This is a perfect test. You've gotten the highest score on all of the tests that we have done. You've gotten the best scores of any class I've ever done. You've got this. And I can't wait to see what you do tomorrow." And so I'm like, okay, I passed the written test. So, okay, I'm going to fuck up while I'm doing the practical tomorrow. I mean, it's just that, it's that simple. That's the only thing left. And we got through it all and I didn't. And I'm like, I passed. I graduated. I didn't fuck it all up. How? And so that ruminated in my head for like 2 days. And then it dawned on me. The bitch died the day before Father's Day of 19. So it had been 4 years and I'm like, oh, she's dead. She's not whispering in my ear about how I'm going to screw everything up. Oh my God. She's the reason I've been ruining everything for my entire life. And that realization led to like 6 different Facebook posts throughout the week, because graduating my teacher training brought up so much of that old yuck from her. And I was talking about her almost nonstop every day because I'm processing all of this stuff that's bubbling up because I succeeded. And it was amazing. And I hope for most of you that it doesn't take that person dying for you to be able to process this. I would not wish that on anyone. I really, really, really wish that I could have processed a lot of this and approached her from the more mature point of view, at the healed point of view, to be able to, I don't know, maybe get some closure. Or just walk up to her and say, "I forgive you for all of the shit that you've done." And watch her head explode, because her first words were going to be, "I don't need you to forgive me for anything. I haven't done anything wrong." I'm like, okay. And then just walk away and watch her just, because she expects an argument. Yeah, and I love it. And then the realization hit. So she was cremated, okay? And the day that I realized that I wanted to bring her back to life so that I could scream at her for a couple of hours, because I was particularly frustrated this day, and then just have her go back to being dead. So basically, I wanted to bring her back to life, scream at her for a couple of hours, and then kill her again. But it wasn't that I wanted to kill her. It was that I wanted her to go back to being dead. Because then she would go away and not bother me again. And that was all I wanted. And the realization that I didn't want to kill her, I just wanted her to go back to being dead and being away, was yet another, light bulb moment that I discussed with, at the time I was seeing my regular therapist and a trauma therapist. And they were like, that is a realization. I'm like, yeah, it's not that I'm violent. It's just I want her to go away. So all right. Move that. There we go. But that was very deep, therapy. Next of kin says they don't need a trauma therapist, they need a different roof over my head. It took me getting a different roof over my head and a trauma therapist. Because yeah. Oh, the echoes of trauma, it takes them forever to stop. Yeah. And that's why we do the cord cuttings. I have to say, I love the fact that the theme for October was release and renewal. Because I have done a lot of processing this month on a lot of the shit that I've been dealing with. Yeah, I hear that one, Ken. I know it is cliched at this point. Trust me. I know this is a cliche, but it really, really does get better once you are out on your own. And so that particular thing that the technomancer just said, that's been behind the curtain. So our former doctor used to say, before you seek psychiatric help, first establish if you're surrounded by assholes. And we made it a game during our appointments with him to see how many times in a session he would say, We usually lost count. Mind you, this is a 45-minute long session. We usually lost count somewhere around 150. Oh, you lost that's right, about 30. 30 to 40. And I'm guesstimating he would usually say it about 50 to 75 times. Mimi, I have felt that way. Mimi's saying she has her days where she feels like everyone would be better without her. Been there, done that, next to kin. Been there, done that. And yes, therapy, well, once you getting out of that house helps, and then therapy. Lots of therapy to process it. I know someone right now who is back at home living with abusive parents and absolutely refuses to admit that they don't deserve it. That they are They are telling their partner about the stuff that abusive parent is doing. Partner is saying that's bullshit, and they're going, well, I deserved it. No, honey, you didn't deserve it. This is no. You don't deserve that. That is actually abuse, honey. And my frustration is the fact that, and I was this person, so I have no right to get frustrated. But you have these people who are like, no, it's my fault. I deserve it. I did something stupid. I shouldn't have done that. And you point out to them that, no, they don't deserve it. And they fight you on it. And that just frustrates me to no end, because you're like, it's so clear to you on the outside that this person is being horribly mistreated. And they're like, no, I deserve it. I'm an idiot and an asshole. And I'm difficult and I'm stupid and I'm clumsy and all of that. And I want to cry when I hear these people, because they are none of those things. But because that's what they've been told constantly. You're worthless, you're useless, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're pointless. Why do you even exist? And all of that. And I'm just like, oh my God. You are none of those things. And it hurts. And I know part of the reason it hurts for me when I hear people saying and doing that is I've been there, and, well, I'm just a tender-hearted witch. And I cannot do what? Oh, I'm leaned over pulling stuff. I'm pulling rocks because I'm looking at it and I desperately need to dust. Tattoos don't cover up bruises, but they definitely cover up scars. Ask me how I know. 2 of 7. Yes. Yep. That's true. Yeah. I honestly, in so many ways, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. In so many ways, I would so rather have had the physical than the stuff I did, because at least physical scars people will see. Have a good one, Aspen. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Because at least with the physical, other people can see it if you choose to show them. Whereas when it's all mental and emotional or financial or any of that isn't visible, it is so hard to prove that it's happening. And so often you get told, oh, you're exaggerating. It's not that bad. They wouldn't do that. No, that's just not possible. And yet, here we are. Yeah. I have multiple personalities. Do you know what causes that, people? That is caused by sustained severe trauma. Prior to the age of 3 or 5, I can't remember exactly, when the personality is fully formed. Yeah, before it starts to form and before it is fully formed. And yeah, it's not something you can easily fake. And it just dawns on me, we may have just accidentally triggered Aspen. I will be touching base with that one later. But I'm just... Yeah. Next of kin, I feel for you. That message was auto-modded. We cannot show it, and I will not say that. I do understand why you are saying that. My incubator told me that she shouldn't have let my dad talk her out. So I fully understand that. And yeah, I know. You did not ask for this. You didn't ask to be born, but you are here now, and you deserve far better than what you are getting, hun. Trust me. And it's a living hell. It truly is. Until you finally escape. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can get help. Hang in there. Are you here in the States or are you overseas? I might be able to find some resources for you. Granted, I don't know how much they'll help, but I've been there. No, been there, done that, made it all worse. Yeah. So, that's my rating badge. That's my dad's. I went into the family business. We are a Navy family. We are the original Antifa. Probably, I'm not surprised. Yeah. We've been joking about the Antifa thing lately. We're the original Antifa. We've been fighting fascism in this family since the 1940s. Hey, Yurty, how you doing? But yeah, I understand, honey. Hey, that's a good idea. Is anybody but me doing a No Kings thing this weekend? If you are, I have some advice for you. So, let's find out if anybody's doing it first. Yeah, being careful is the first bit of advice for everybody. So, my advice if you are going to one of the rallies, protests this weekend, leave your phone behind, leave your smartwatch behind. You guys know me with my hair this way. My hair will be in another style when I go. It'll be different. It will be mostly covered. I will not be wearing these glasses. I will not be wearing most of my jewelry. And let's see, actually, I won't have to worry about removing my jewelry because I'll be wearing a mask. If you wear basically a COVID mask, it helps. Let's see what else. Wear nondescript clothing. Do not wear anything identifiable. For me, I will be making sure that all of my tattoos are covered. Wear a hat, wear a mask. If you carry a backpack, make sure that it is not a unique backpack. I'm not even sure where mine is right now. I tend to carry a pink backpack. Won't be carrying the pink one this weekend. Make sure you have water, not just to drink, but in case you get hit with tear gas, you'll want water and access to milk if you can. Do not take milk with you because spoiled milk in your eyes doesn't feel any better than the tear gas. Let's see what else. Make sure you have comfortable shoes on. Okay, well, that's fine. I lost what I was looking for. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, baby shampoo? Yes! Baby shampoo works beautifully for washing your eyes if you get hit with gas. Make sure you have a basic first aid kit with you. Cause yeah, you never know when a simple Band-Aid is going to come in handy. Gauze pads. If you have them in your house, take tampons and potentially, menstrual pads, sanitary pads. They are great for soaking up blood. Tampons are awesome for bloody noses. So these are just some common sense things. Am I going to encourage you guys to go? Actually, yes. Also, stay nonviolent. Do not interact with the counter protesters. Take a buddy and make sure that you write down your next of kin or your next contact's phone number either in Sharpie on your body or tuck their phone number on a slip of paper into your shoe. Because you're going to be leaving your phone behind because, hi, these are digital leashes for a reason. They are highly trackable. And, yeah. And ICE is definitely showing up at the protests. So be smart. And they're hacking phones and and also if you decide to take your phone with you and you use a thumbprint as your unlock, take that off. Because while they cannot force you to put the PIN number into your phone, they can physically use your body to unlock your phone. I don't know. Yeah, how did you get paid to get pepper sprayed? That sounds interesting. Actually, but there are organizations that will help you get out. RAIN is the one that comes to mind, but that's the rape network. Try contacting your local domestic violence shelter or hotline. They can frequently point you in the direction of people who can help. If nothing else, dial 211. 211 is an amazing resource. That's true. Be careful. That's what I thought. Yep, that makes sense. Yep, they will pay you to be their guinea pig. Isn't it great? They'll pay you to get pepper sprayed. You can get paid to be tasered. Oh, I know. Not my thing. Nope. Please, I don't want. Yeah. But, it is. I honestly, I feel slightly safer going to my local rally because I am in a small town. That we're a pretty purple town. But most of our people aren't particularly violent. So I'm not super stressed there. But I have been invited to help coordinate a knit-in once, the fascist Cheeto decides to send troops to Seattle. We're going to do a knit-in and try to do something akin to what Portland is doing, but nowhere near on Portland's level because, well, Portland is weird and Seattle is not. At least not to that extent. Love my hometowns, but I am realistic here. Now, I am slightly concerned about doing the knit-in because, well, we're going to be in Seattle. Actually, I didn't rent my chair from the VA. They gave it to me when I had my surgery. And no, I am not going to help you do that by cop. I know a lot of people who have, and it's not pleasant. But I do understand the desire. But it's they're not using live rounds yet. They are using quote unquote less than lethal rounds. Hence why the poor priest who got shot in the head by one is only concussed and not dead. I'm so furious about that. Every time I mention the fact that a priest got shot in the head, my uncle is up on my digital frame in his vestments. There are 3 groups that the military is not allowed to assault medics, chaplains, and the press. And they're going after all three of them now. In Portland, ICE was threatening clergy. Sorry, chaplains comes to mind because it's the military, but clergy, medics, and the press. And Portland, the agents at the ICE office building, whatever the fluff, actually threatened to arrest and detain the ambulance crew who came to retrieve someone who was having a medical emergency. It is infuriating that this whole thing just... I'm so frustrated and so pissed off by it. This is not the country that I joined the military to defend. And I stop and think about the fact that in all actuality, I didn't join the military to defend my country. I joined the military to defend democracy because my oath of enlistment says I swear to support and uphold the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's not supporting that's not defending my country. That is defending the principles that my country was founded on. I just, yeah. And that is something that a lot of my fellow veterans don't realize, is that we swore to support and defend the Constitution, not the country. We swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution, not the Commander-in-Chief. And that is something our current Commander-in-Chief does not understand, despite the fact that the oath of enlistment and the oath of office for the presidency and any senator or representative is almost exactly the same. Worded slightly different, but the gist is we are swearing to support and defend the Constitution. And it's just ridiculous. But yeah. I know. Next of kin, I understand what you're saying. I genuinely do. I do. But, and normally, knowing that you're like me or a vet, I would tell you contact the hotline, but Doge decimated it. Yep. Oh, trust me, I get it. I truly get it. My incubator had 0 fucks. The only reason she cared about my ideation is it made her look bad. It did not uphold the, oh, we're the perfect family. So she pretended to make efforts. So I truly get it. And I hate that you are living through that. I've been there, and I do not wish that on anyone. Yeah. It's not a pleasant way to live. That is part of why I made the colossal mistake while on active duty of getting married. Now, the getting married itself was not the mistake. It was the person I chose to marry ended up being, well, the first one was worse than the incubator. The second one was on par with the incubator. And the third one, had he treated the bipolar a little sooner, we would have probably been fine. But we make far better friends than we did husband and wife. That is why I'm still friends with him today. He's an amazing person. I just cannot be married to the man. Love him to death, but no. He is not, nope. He is not the partner I need. And I truly hope for you, next of kin, that you find someone who can give you the support and the courage to keep going. It takes some doing, but they are out there. Even if it's just a friend, anyone who would miss you. We would. I've seen you in here enough times. I recognize the screen name. And I do genuinely worry when I have not seen a screen name come in a while. We've got like 4 of them that we've been talking about. Are they okay? So, I was pregnant with my middle child. No. Yes. Pregnant with my middle child, talking to it. John, go get some sleep. Oh, okay, it went without medication. I worry. Sorry, John just popped up in the other chat. He was not here earlier because he had a headache that was bordering on migraine level. I was pregnant with my middle child, talking to a friend from high school. And I told him about how I had been battling that particular demon for a while. And that I genuinely felt like nobody would really miss me. And he went, I would. I was shocked. Because and those 2 words kept me going for a decade. Yes. Dibaba. Bonk. No. Uh-oh. Sorry. I just got good news, so we're okay. Thank you, Hazel. You're awesome. And I'm just because I have been there. That's why I'm here right now. And I just inadvertently quoted a Kenny Chesney song. If you have an alcoholic in your life, send them the Kenny Chesney song. That's why I'm here. Just slight deviation, but still. Oh, sheesh. Oh, fuck. Houston, we have a small problem. Ba, 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 5:30. Okay. Doggo goes in at 5:30. We're okay. I just had a mild panic attack because I'm like, oh shit, it's podcast tonight. No! We are taking Sergeant to the doctor at 5:30 tonight. I know. Yes. No. I was thinking I had scheduled it for 5 o'clock tonight, and I'm like, podcast goes live at 4:30. Houston, we have a problem. Thank you, John. He's got an irritation in his. He has an irritation between his toes, and it's bugging him, and he's not wanting to put a whole lot of weight on his paw. So we know it's time that he either needs antibiotics or something, but Dad sprayed it a couple of times with some stuff that we've got, but it's still swollen and icky. So I suspect he needs antibiotics. Poor pupper. I love my little man, but his is a little old man's. He is almost 14 years old. God. Nope, we're not thinking about it. All right. All right, my darlings, my dears, my loves. I am going to go ahead and wrap this up because, well, I need to get the doggos out to water the tree, get them a snack, and then I need to put long pants on because, yes, I'm wearing a sweater here, but I have shorts on. Menopause is not for the weak at heart. I'm just saying. They might let you, dude. Sorry, hun. Not sure if you're male, female, or somewhere in between. Go for it. Worst they're going to do is tell you that you can't play it. Uh-huh. You're welcome, John. They might. But occasionally, yeah, it depends on how hard you're pounding on the keys. Most of the time I have discovered that the VA cops are pretty reasonable. And, well, unfortunately, they are far too used to dealing with very frustrated veterans. The shitty thing is, I know someone who knows stuff, but cannot recommend them right now. All right. So, my darlings, my dears, my beloveds, I have got to get going. So please, let's go out there and spread love, spread joy, and spread kindness. There is enough darkness and hate. Please, let's try to be beacons of light and hope. Tell your loved ones that they mean the world to you. You never know when that last chance will be. And please, my darlings, my witchlings, my loves, please, always, always, always remember, you are loved. You are wanted. You are needed. And you do have a reason for being here. You may not have found it yet. I was 45 before I did. So please hang in there. I love you guys to bits. Namaste, witchlings.